Megavan and Melanin, welcome to the Why Ukraine live stream. It's wonderful to see you all here. I'm sorry I came on such short notice. That's what she said. God. If you're just joining, I am an American in Ukraine, living my best life, to be honest. It's great here. You should come. But we have some serious things to talk about today. And it's, if you don't know what my live stream is about, again, if it's your first time watching, I encourage a lot of discussion. And if you want, just a straight report of the news, there's lots of channels for that. If you have found me, you've kind of hit the bottom of the internet, or at least the bottom of the Ukraine rabbit hole, maybe. So welcome. Enjoy yourself. We're having drinking games, apparently. So yeah, I live here in Ukraine, and I'm watching the news and talking. I have a lot of friends who are fighting, and I'm trying to get to the front line too, which you've all heard enough of me whining about that. But hey, Livacat. Yeah, everybody's here. KK's GG, Mitch, Dimitru. Oh yeah, Aussie Bugga. Lots of folks here. I saw there was a Catherine for a second, but let's see here. Could have sworn I saw Catherine. Yogi, Sally, Luz. Oh, Sally was here earlier. Yeah, yeah, sorry to hear about your mom, Sally. So today, drinking games, does that include coffee? I don't see why not, Shahar. I don't really drink alcohol too much anymore, not as much as I used to. So I suppose you can. Oh, Cheryl, thanks for coming. Kursk is in the news, and last time I think we talked a little bit about Kursk, and I think it's great. I think it's a big deal. Oh, Andrew, I won't tell anyone. Yeah, just keep it on the down low. Michelle, thanks for coming. Stephen, I don't think I've seen you in a while. Everybody's talking about Kursk, and we're going to talk about Kursk a little bit, but this is the place that I'm the most worried about right now, and that is Pokrovsk. And you may disagree. That's cool, but I have been saying since, my God, April, maybe at least May, that this was the most disconcerting part of this war right now. And it's often been said recently that the Kursk incursion, Kursk invasion was, in one of the things that the Ukrainian government has stated was, to create a buffer zone, but also to pull troops away from these areas here where Ukraine is struggling. And the biggest area right now, arguably, is this. And so, to be honest with you guys, I just want to point out, if you haven't seen his channel, SkruffyTalez, is, he's a small channel, a little bit bigger than me, but man, sometimes he is just right on the money. And to be honest, this video that he put out, I guess it was today, 8 hours ago, I really couldn't say it any better than he does. I might add a few things, but he's kind of got looking at the elevations and the rivers, and why is this salient kind of doing this kind of downward pointing. It looks like a weird monster, you know, kind of creeping along. And he had a really good explanation for that because of where the rivers are. Now, these aren't big rivers, they're creeks, really, but they still impede progress. Rivers and this, there's a railway that goes around this way, also avoiding the rivers, kind of along it's really flat terrain down here, as near as I can tell. I've never been there to this area myself. Flatter, and we're going to take a look at that. But he says some interesting things, and I'm just going to kind of play what he says. I don't know if the sound is going to come across.
I mean, maps can be a bit misleading because take a look what Russia is doing here. What is going on here?
Right. So one thing that he's saying is so Pokrovsk is the goal. Yes, Scruffy actually pops in on my show once in a while too, which is pretty nice. I told him I was gonna, be doing this. He was like, "Yeah, tear me apart." I'm like, "No, dude, you are hitting the nail on the head, basically." And yeah, Cheryl, this is all coming out of that Avdiivka, screw up from that one general, Sodol, or maybe it was, who screwed up a troop deployment, a troop changeover. I was watching Small Town Monsters, but the Wheelosaurus. Wheelosaurus, that's a good one. That's excellent. I like this. They exist. That's great. Wheelosaurus. Yeah, I guess. Oh my God! Now you say Wheelosaurus, and since I know what Wheelo means, now I'm looking at it and it's pink too. Ugh. I don't like that. But yeah, so it's very disconcerting. So I'm just gonna play a little part here. I highly suggest you guys go and watch the full video. But so he's talking about this. Pokrovsk is over here, this small town, and then even a smaller town, and where the rivers are and everything. And I just wanted to give you guys kind of the Google Earth look. Oh my God. Assuming Google Earth ever decides to load. Good Christ. All right, okay, so we're basically looking at, this is Novohrodivka. And Novo means new, okay? I don't remember what Hrod means, but Ivka basically means like the place. So the root word there is Hrod, whatever that means. And this, what I want to do here, I had it earlier. Let's see if we can, take a look at the tilt. Take a look at what the terrain looks like here, because this is the way they're coming from, and I kind of want to look at it from the direction that the Russians are looking at it from here, if we can, because they're actually coming from this direction, from over here, from Hrodivka. Okay, so this is Hrodivka, and New Hrodivka is over here, right? I guess that's old Hrodivka over there. And this is just a perfect, if we just zoom in here, these are the railroad tracks, okay? And look, you got all this forest. If you ever watch some of my shorts where I make videos as I'm kind of coming along the rail, as I'm traveling across the countryside, and sometimes I make little short videos looking out the window just to kind of show people what Ukraine looks like. And I have a hell of a time sometimes showing anything but trees, because everywhere you go along either side of the railroad tracks, it's trees. And so it's just a straight line of forest cover all the way up here to Hrodivka. And that's not a bridge. It's like an underpass. Going all the way up here to Nova Hrodivka. And it's just like an arrow pointed. And there you can see Pokrovsk right off there in the distance. And honestly, there's not a lot of elevation here, as I can tell. There's no tall buildings. You can't look down into this forest. There's a couple of high points, getting closer to Pokrovsk. There's this little hill right over here, all the way over here. And to be honest, I hate to say it, but I think that this hill might be the most important goddamn hill in all of Ukraine in the next days or week. This stupid little hill. Now, SkruffyTalez makes this point, and let me just keep going. So he said, well, all right, I'll just shut up. He says, so he's looking at Andrew Perpetua's map. Okay, so what he says is, and I skipped over it a little bit. This Novohrodivka is a good place, but it's also kind of a funnel where Russian troops would potentially be trapped. Okay, so if I were Cheryl says, I watched the International Legion videos of the defense of Pervomaiska near Pisky on Yulia's recommendation because her friend was the Ukrainian medic who came to their aid saying, you'll live. Yeah. I confess I have not watched them yet. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't watch them yet, or why I haven't watched them yet. I'm not sure. Something, maybe it's stressing me out too much, as I'm doing so many other things right now, I guess. Yeah, it's all still pretty flat. KK's GG says it's all still pretty flat, though, but yes, that hill will be an advantage controlling the surrounding terrain. So what SkruffyTalez is saying, I keep wanting to zoom in on this map, and I can't. It's frustrating me. What SkruffyTalez is saying is actually they can bypass this bottleneck, and I'm not saying this nearly as good as SkruffyTalez says it, but he takes a look at this spot right here, which is called Krasny Yar. Now, Yar, correct me if I'm wrong, but Yar means like valley, and Krasny, I think it means like beautiful. It literally means beautiful valley. This is like the pivotal, and Scruffy says the pivotal point in the fight for Pokrovsk. I say it's the pivotal point for the war itself. When we look back years from now and we say, what were the big turning points? I feel like this, and I'm just some guy who knows, but
map is pushing towards Krasny Yar, and if we take a look at Krasny Yar, take a look at this.
Actually, I think I want to turn the sound down because I don't want to cause an echo on my microphone. But we can read his subtitles. So basically, some of these rivers, if you look at on this map, these rivers are, they're marked on the maps previously, but they're not. It's not like they're not really gonna stop anybody. These are barely creeks, And here we can look on Google Maps. I'm gonna freak out my computer right now. Yeah, so there's Hrodivka. There we go. So, unlike a lot of the rivers in Ukraine, like this is just barely even a tiny little creek. And the potential for this to be crossed is great, basically. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, basically they've already crossed this river. If they've gotten to here, okay, then they're over this point, and it's really not a barrier anymore. So once they've gotten to here, then they can come back down around. This is that hill I was talking about. And then this is where this is Novo Horodivka, and this is I'm gonna just assume that these two hills. There's two hills here, okay, and they are like mine tailings. I'm gonna assume that these two hills. I mean, if you just look at the kind of the bottleneck that Scruffy so wisely pointed out, okay, these two hills are right there in the middle of that bottleneck. Like if it were me, and I was, I know I'm armchair generaling. I'm literally in an armchair right now. But if it were me, I would have there's the two hills right here. I would have these defenses across here. And I mean, I don't know what they've got. We can't possibly know what they've set up to defend this place. But this is like super, super critical. This is like Soledar, Hello, Keith. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Ozzy Bugga says, I wonder what the loss ratio for Russia to Ukraine is in forces in that advance. We have not. I haven't seen those kind of statistics. I haven't watched ATP Geopolitics always trots out those statistics pretty well, and so I haven't kept track. But I can tell you that anything less than like 5-1 is Ukraine losing here. 6-1, 7-1 is Ukraine is a stalemate. As crazy as that sounds. Here in this one salient, Ukraine has to be getting like 10-1. Really, Yeah. So thank you all for coming. By the way, I don't know. I thank you for being here for my freak out a little bit. While I'm freaking out about this beautiful valley. That's you can kind of see how there's a little bit of a valley here. It's a little bit of a elevation change, just kind of a low spot because the farming is all done on the hills, the upper areas, and the cities or towns or villages rather are mostly built on in the valleys close to the rivers. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know. Why is this so critical? I mean, I think I've been beating this horse forever and ever, I feel like, but why is this so critical is because if we take a look at deep state, okay, first of all, you've got this railroad, all right, it's coming right into Pokrovsk. And where is it coming out of? It's coming right out of Donetsk, okay, through Avdiivka, right out of Donetsk. So major logistics point. If they can if they can take Pokrovsk, like they could set this up as a freaking fortress. I'm talking about the orcs, but that's not the worst part. Okay, the worst part is that the main road going up here to Konstantinivka and Chasiv Yar, this is, you've got two roads. One that's coming out of Kramatorsk and ultimately like coming from Kharkiv and like Pavlograd, those areas, and then this other road here, it reduces Ukraine's options tremendously. These options are already reduced. Like this road, I don't know how many kilometers that is, but not much. I think that each of these fields is like a kilometer, so that's totally under maybe even mortar fire, Aussie Bugga, how is Russia advancing in Pokrovsk? Is it the same meat wave methods? Yes, it is my understanding it's meat wave after meat wave after meat wave. Slow, stupid crawl. Wow, Bell, thank you so much. That's amazing. Jim's hockey cards. Cool. Fragden Shizo. Cool name. And Keith, Leathercat, Silver Earth, Mark. I guess I thought you guys were all members already. Maggie, Gone Bananas, Thorben. I think, are you guys like not taking your memberships and then you just keep getting them over and over? That's fine. No big deal. That's awesome though. Yeah, so nice. The little Swedish there, Petra. I'm sorry I don't have time to translate that. I can kind of read Swedish. I used to be able to. Not really anymore. Preston Stewart did a good segment. Cheryl says Preston Stewart did a good segment on the Chosen Company being spuriously accused by the New the New York Times. Oh, interesting. They took Ukrainian dark jokes on a separate channel as orders to kill prisoners. Yeah. This is what Ryan Macbeth talks about, how so many of these news reporters just know nothing about war, and certainly not about infantry. I mean, when I was in training, in the International Legion, the first group I was in training with, their slogan chant that they did when they were running was "kill babies." Okay, all right. So, and I'm sure that none of them have killed any babies. They're just fucking infantry, man. I'm sure that I have some friendly infantry listening. Sorry, but you guys are have the darkest humor, and with good reason. So, oh yeah, Leathercat. I still can't believe some people get bent out of shape over Muscovites being called orcs. I've seen it. Yeah, I think Destiny, who's some other big famous YouTuber I saw, there was some big, that is a fundamental misunderstanding of Tolkien. That's what that is. No, the argument is that we're being racist by calling them orcs. And that is also not so if you have a good understanding of Tolkien. Anyway, so this is a look. I don't have the article right in front of me, but all indications are showing that basically Putin is, his propagandists are saying, look, this Kursk thing is going to be a while. We're not getting Kursk back for a while, basically. And what that shows to me is that they have made a conscious decision, just like Ukraine made a conscious decision to not send extra troops here, but to instead send them to Kursk and do this operation up here. which I'm not saying that's wrong. But it was a conscious decision. Now I know that they have pulled out some. Shahar, wow, ordinary Russian citizens, orc. Holy crap, that is why. Oh, it was Vosh, Cheryl. Okay, it's Vosh. Yeah. Keith says Pokrovsk is ugly now, but they haven't reached the fortifications. Yeah, you know what? I'm hoping you are right, sir. Starsky has something up his sleeve. There is a lot of equipment unaccounted for. Mobilization has been going for 3 months, and okay. I'm not sure Thornbin is here today. Memberships are often given to channel followers who aren't in attendance. I didn't know that. I did not know that was a thing. That's interesting. Wow, I learned something new about YouTube today. Had no idea. Because in my perfect world, what would happen is like Azov or somebody had come rushing in here from the north, in between all these river valleys here, and just cut off all of these zombies up in this area, and just rush right across here as fast as they can, and maybe another hammer and anvil sort of thing. I mean, that's, again, as I was saying before, that's what I would do with my armchair generalship. But who am I? Ozzy says, see how Russian civilians have reacted to Ukrainian troops with open arms. No one making Molotov cocktails or anything. Amazingly revealing. Yeah, I saw something about a ref. We were joking about it last time, but I saw some sort of a report about a let's see if I can find it here. Kursk. No, not Kirk. Kursk referendum. Okay, first I have to learn how to spell. Like some sort of oh yeah, here it is. Oh no, it's Artur Rehi. It was Artur Rehi talking about it. Ukraine declares People's Republic of Kursk. Okay, no, apparently it's not. It's not a real thing yet. Sumy Council's vote to bring occupied districts of Kursk. Okay, it hasn't happened yet, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you're right about Keith about. I my expertise is in medieval combat, medieval warfare, like as a reconstructionist, and so I think in those ways. Like I would put, if it were me, I would put a shield wall across this gap here, have archers on the hills, on the two hills, so I'm not, by no means am I saying I'm some sort of military genius, but something across here in between these two rivers. I mean, but still, I'm just saying that it's pretty paltry though, and in many ways, these riverine environs are actually highways for soldiers. They're not obstacles at all. In fact, they provide cover from drones. As we, if you guys two live streams ago when we spoke with this kid, the guy who I thought was dead, but he survived. If you guys remember, he survived having a drone drop a grenade on his ass because he jumped behind the tree that he was standing next to at just the right last minute, so, but that works just as well for the Russians, and again, Pokrovsk falling opens up this whole like Toretsk, where we're pushing here, Konstantinivka, basically. I mean, not trying to be Chicken Little, but I'm worried. I'm worried. Wait, I missed. You said what was a joke? I missed it. I make jokes all the time, and most people don't get them, so it's okay. Yeah, and then if that falls here, then what's the next cauldron? This one, Kurhova. I mean, what? So there's been a lot of debate I've seen recently from different. So here's the article kind of talking about the same thing. By the way, there you can see Krasny Yar in this picture, and Novo Horiv, whatever it's called. But so I've seen a lot of debate popping up about like, wow, the Kursk invasion is so successful. Ukraine should use this to attack somewhere else. And I've been thinking about that, like, where would Ukraine? And I've heard some people say, oh, over here. This would be just clear this off the map, and I don't think so. I did see an article. Maybe I have it here. I don't think so, but I guess the Kinburn Spit, that's what this is called here. There was a ammo depot that got hit on the Kinburn Spit, so maybe they're thinking about attacking from this direction. But I mean, honestly, they've got to get this under control. I mean, I can understand like wanting to kind of stretch out. This is oh, there's a bot. Oh, look. Do we have a bot? I think 100,000 civilians moved away from the front. Not exactly open arms. Don't know what you're trying to say. Much more than 100,000 civilians have moved away from the front. So, much more. I missed it. There was a bot posted and got smacked, and I missed it. Cool. Elderly Kursk resident filmed saying "Hang Putin" would have to go west. Yeah. It would be hard to retreat from Kursk and bail on the citizens their families just left them to their fate already. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, KKGG, I'm not sure that wouldn't be a mistake, spreading forces too thin. Yeah, well, I mean, there is, that there's a whole Soviet theory of battle, deep battle. Let the enemy come in, and when they're all stretched out, then attack. And that's what Keith was kind of alluding to, that maybe there's some secret buildup of troops around here that we just don't know about, that are hidden, and they're going to come in and charge of the light brigade or whatever. I feel like this has to be solved before Ukraine attacks on any other any other front. Of course, I have said, my favorite place where I think Ukraine needs to attack, and it's right here across what used to be Lake Kakhovka. Yeah, Mitch, left their animals locked up too. What kind of person would do that? By the way, unfortunately, I've seen it here in Ukraine too. Yeah. Elo Clementi left after realizing his mistake. Oh, he hasn't made a bad enough mistake yet. Give that time. But no, the whole thing with animals. So, man, I've got this dog next door that the neighbors left, and he's such a sweet dog. And you guys have seen some of the short videos I've shown of him. And we've been feeding him, and of course, the Ukrainians, freaking. I guess they have this idea, and I've been talking with Ukrainians about this, but out in like the villages, people are just very, very poor, and they're too poor to afford dog food. Like, if they could afford dog food, they would eat it themselves. Like, that's how freaking poor some people are. Especially retired people. And so, let's see. Dog. No. I want my shorts. There we go. This guy, this cute little dog. He's not really little. This is kind of like when I first discovered that he was. I don't know. I knew he was there. Anyway, the point is, I go over and visit him a few times a week, basically, and I'm sorry. You're such a cute. Yet yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, this poor guy, he's just gets really lonely over there. We do feed him, and I make sure he has dog food, not just freaking macaroni. Oh, God, fucking Ukrainians. This is why what they do is they take like their extra like bones, not even meat, just bones or table scraps, and boil the macaroni with the bones so that so it kind of tastes like meat. I mean, I understand that dog food itself is maybe like 50% corn or whatever it is, but anyway, so this guy, I was going for a walk, and I walked past, and there's 2 houses abandoned next to me, and all of a sudden I'm walking past the second abandoned house where the front fence has actually fallen down, and there's no fence, and the dog is standing there behind the fallen down fence. Oh, KK's GG, thank you. Yeah, I will. Actually, it's so funny you should mention. I actually bought the dog a collar, and that's the point of this story is. Hang on. I had to buy him a collar because here I had to buy him a collar because he basically he has been living next door. No, you're right, Cheryl. Bone broth is very nutritious. I think there's just too much macaroni in the broth, is what I'm saying. So he's been living next door with this free range of a yard, okay, with this huge hole. I'm talking like 7-foot hole in the fence, okay? Not even a hole, just a place where there's no fence. But because there was like a board, like one single board, he was like respecting that boundary and not, running out into the street or anything, staying in his yard. He could have at any time gotten out of the yard this whole time. Even right now, he could get out of the yard. But because he's a good boy, okay, he stays in his yard. But I was walking past, and I said, "Oh, look at you, you're so sweet." And then he kind of like gingerly steps over the fence, like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, I don't know if you should do this, but what am I gonna do to stop you? Oh, hey, Herb. Thanks for coming. And all of a sudden, there was like a branch. All that was between me and him was a branch of a tree, and it was falling down. And all of a sudden, he's like, "I'm outside the fence. Oh, what do I do?" And then he starts running around in circles. And this is the thing: I hardly ever make video when I go see him, because he's like so excited to see me that he's like literally jumping all over me, and I've dropped the phone. I'm trying to, it's ridiculous. So so that's what he does, and then he realizes he's outside, and he literally grabs onto my leg, and I'm like, okay, just go back in there, and because I'm trying to go, I was going for a walk to the store or something, and he like was not gonna let me go. And then like one of the neighbor's dogs stuck his nose out the fence, and he had to go see the neighbor's dog, and then the neighbor's dog didn't like him, and they got in a big fight, and he was freaking out. So I had to physically pick him up, take him through his gate, and put him back into. But so now I know that anytime that I physically go for a walk, the next time I'm going to have a collar, and I have a leash around here somewhere. But I'm going to. So I guess he's my freaking dog now, is what it comes down to. That's the. I mean, I have to keep him over there for a couple of reasons. Not the least that we have this very intensive gardening, growing all of our own food here, but also that the neighbors that abandoned the house, they have relatives, and they could come by at any point and say like, "Where's our dog?" So, but yeah, basically, I'm not really a dog person, guys. I'm like a fish or reptile person or something like that. I don't know. Give me a nice chameleon, I'll be perfectly happy. But yeah, I've got a dog now, apparently. So, that's his name's Kuzi, or Kuzia. Oh, look at the USA map. Find the place that looks like a mitten surrounded by water. That's me. So you're in Michigan, is what you're saying. Yeah, it sounds like Deutschland, doesn't it? Yeah, it's Michigan, Aussie. Anyway, so I apologize for going off on the dog tangent, but yeah, it was just quite an experience. But yeah, I mean, I actually have joined now. Did you know that Pokrovsk has their own news website? Like, here you go. This is Pokrovsk News, Pokrovsk.news. And kind of like, and also because I'm keeping up with it, like I've also joined the Pokrovsk Telegram channel. So here you go. If you want to see what's going on in Pokrovsk, I mean, it's still kind of a normal town, but obviously people are GTFO, So this lady is, unfortunately, it's all in Ukrainian. I can't understand, but I can imagine what she's saying, So, things are getting serious, basically. And wait a minute, did I close that? Yeah, okay, I guess I did. Things are getting serious. So, and I'm worried. I don't know what else to tell you about it. Kursk is going awesome. It's great. I'm very interested in this picture here. What's happening in this picture? This looks like they are setting up satellite communications, doesn't it? Oh my God, and the dude's wearing my shirt. I have that exact shirt. You guys have seen me wearing it many times on this channel. I don't know. It was a gift, so I don't know where to buy it. Oh yeah, Cheryl. Some people only go to the dacha on the weekends, and pets live there in the meantime. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But in this case, that's not the case. I don't know. I know that the relatives do occasionally come to check on the dog, but not that much. But that's interesting. A lot of this picture here is very interesting because you hear people say all the time that, Starlink is the only option. Clearly not. This is This is not a microwave communication. This is satellite communication here. From based on how it's pointed, where it's pointed and the type of dish and all that. Yeah. So, and this is pretty interesting. This news about Pokrovsk. Some parents are hiding children from mandatory evacuations, as Ukraine says Russia advancing fast on key city. I understand that some people are like outside reality. They don't want to. They want to keep their heads in the sand and pretend like their city's not just about to be invaded. But I have no doubt that a lot of those people, even parents with children, are Zduni. Thank you, Petra. I will actually. I have like one more day's worth of dog food, and tomorrow's Friday, so I'll have time to go and do a little bike ride to the pet shop. Buy a better leash for him too. But I understand that a lot of people, they're too poor. They don't have anywhere else to go. They just don't want to leave. But there's a percentage in these, especially in these eastern cities, who are like, they're waiting for the Russians. Yeah, I wonder which way the preponderance are going. Well, I can tell you that based on my experience here in Ukraine, that in the east, like maybe 25% of people in these eastern towns seem to be at least passive supporters of Russia. And a big reason for that is because a lot of the people who could leave got out, like freaking left. Anybody in Donetsk Oblast, basically, at all. And down here in these areas, Orikhiv, Velika, Novosilka, those areas, if they could leave, they left. If they could leave and they wanted to leave. But I mean, I've been to these places here, and that's like, I'm gonna just off the cuff say 75-25. So, and if I'm wrong, correct me. If there's somebody watching makes or you watch later and you're like, no. Why different in the north? Oh, you mean up here, like in Kharkiv? I can't speak to Volchansk. I don't know about Volchansk, but I can tell you Kharkiv. It's funny because they were at one time the Bolshevik capital of Ukraine in the during the Ukrainian War for Independence in the 1920s. And Kharkiv for a very long time was basically considered a Russian city. Oh, SkruffyTalez. No, I did not rip you a new one. I was talking about how you were right on, man, to be honest. Far out, solid, right on. I couldn't say it any better than what you said in your video. We actually kind of went over your video a little bit. Oh God, ads, really? Jesus. Yeah, we were right about... What is going on? YouTube, stop it. I think my computer's freaking out. I think I need to close Google Earth. But Scruffy, one thing that I was saying is, and I don't know if you had noticed this yet. You might have already. But looking at Krasny Yar, I don't know, you may have a different opinion on this, but there's these two hills. They're like mine tailings, I think. One's right here. So this is to the west of Krasny Yar. And then there's another one here. and they're right in your little kind of gap to the north-ish of Novohrodivka, as you were talking about. And I was just saying that if I were going to make a defense, and of course I think in terms of like shield walls and stuff like that. If I were going to make a defense, I would put it right across here, and maybe from Krasny Yar or Mykolaiivka, and I would set my archers, mortar teams, let's say mortar teams, on these two hills, and hopefully have some freaking trenches across here, multiple layers of trenches, But I don't know. We're just speculating at this point. So, wow, Miriam, thank you. Shahar Zahia, you're now a member. Tone, Lilith, awesome. Richard Spinningwood. I like that. I guess is spinning wood related to morning wood? Leslie Bow, you were a member. Tanya, thank you for coming. Tanya Rindenko. Man, I feel like I know you. Huh. Were you one of my students? No, I didn't have a Tanya. Okay, anyway. Susan, Reb, I know I've seen you guys before. Thank you guys for coming. Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking you up, Scruffy. So be ready. You're gonna have I'm swamping you with subscribers. So, but yeah, so I don't know if you noticed that, but I think it's interesting, and I just hope. The other thing we were talking about is this is my hopium, is that Ukraine has some kind of a counter invasion prepared. Maybe Azov will charge in up these river valleys and cut off the salient. That's the only thing I can hope for. The rain, we just had rain here, Ozzy. It was I thought we were going to have another goddamn heat wave, but we got some nice rain. But so somebody, I can't remember who, was asking about the differences in opinion and who supports Ukraine and secret Russian supporters. Just in my experience, Kharkiv, there's no city that hates Russia more right now than Kharkiv. Oh, that's interesting. In 1921, the Bolsheviks came in and set Suja as the administrative capital of Bolshevik Ukraine. I did not know that. I knew it was Kharkiv for a while too, but yeah, it makes sense. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on at that time. Yeah, so enough about that. I think, my God, I've talked for an hour. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm going to close Google Earth because it uses up too much of my stuff. And Scruffy, I'm going to have to close up this because just go and watch that video, guys, because it's awesome. I want to kind of move on from this maybe a little bit. And, I'd just say that I hope Starsky's got a plan, man. That's all. What do we know? I mean, it's a good thing that we don't know what's going on, in some ways, because that means they're keeping a tight lip on things. On tier has been raining off and on. Leathercat, on tier, saying that on tier is raining is like saying the sky is blue. Okay. On tier is what we call Oregon and Washington, basically. The Kingdom of Ontir, if you didn't know. But, this not just... Holy crap, Philippe, 20 memberships. My God. I don't think we have 20 more people in the chat today. But I guess everybody's everybody's a member now. Wow, guys. Well, stick around, and I have some pretty interesting announcements and maybe a very special gift for you. Maybe those of you who are here. But I did want to speak about Kursk, things are going awesome in Kursk. There's some really cool stuff going on, and I'm super excited about it. Please don't think that I'm like, bashing on the Kursk offensive. By all means, no. I mean, this is still happening. Like, so what Dennis Davydov here, this is his channel. He's talking about this this offensive, little offensive that's happening here, and I think Ukraine is just kind of going to be taking its time with this area here south of the same river. So yeah, wow, thank you everybody. Annette, hypothetical genius. Wait, that's me. I'm the hypothetical genius. Bass. Oh, you're in Ukraine. Super cool. Mick, awesome. Stretch, Darren, Tim, Brian, all these cool people. I hope you're all cool people. Last White Rose, I've seen you around. Holy Oblation, you're back. Slava Ukraini. You made a comment on one of my videos. It was awesome. I don't remember. It was something nice. Ani, Yuki Chick Wilka, Paul D, Michael, Anna, Wee Bit Furry. I remember you. Haji. Now, I've not seen Haji before. Hello, Haji. David Nickel. David Nickel. That name rings a bell for me somehow. You're not like a reporter with Ukraine the Latest or something, are you? No, that's somebody else. Okay. Anyway. Haji, I hope that you had a nice visit to Mecca recently. That's a little joke, So yeah, I mean, please don't think that I'm, shitting on the Kursk offensive by no means. Okay. It's so important. It's so important this right now, and not just because for all the reasons that we've talked about. It's also for morale for Ukrainians, and the Ukrainians have been just dragged down and down and down in the last, since last October. And this Kursk offensive is really, in many ways, like the first real ray of hope that a lot of us have had here, and I think this is pretty interesting. Over 70% of Ukrainians engaged in volunteering efforts since the war started. 71% have contributed volunteer aid to the army. I mean, everybody I know has done something for somebody more than once. More at the beginning of the war, perhaps. Only 17% of Ukrainians did not engage in providing aid, and neither did they plan to do so. And that 17%, that might be, excuse me, I have a sneeze coming. Okay, I think it's gone. That might be the 17% of Zhdunis, the ones who support Russia. There's always some. There's always going to be some. And it's different in different parts of the country, too. So, there might be a higher percentage in here in the East here, which is really weird and ironic because, like, the Russians are attacking your cities. Why do you continue to believe that? But and the real reason is it's the proximity. The proximity to Russian TV stations and propaganda, basically. Russian TV stations blasting over the border for years and years and years. They exist. Can you give extra memberships to people who visit, say, 3 times? I don't know, honestly. YouTube memberships are totally randomly awarded to members attending a stream or not. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, interesting. So maybe to subscribers, maybe that's given to subscribers, even if they're not attending the stream. I thought it would have to be like people in the stream. I was like, my God, I don't think I have that many people in this stream. Okay, Cheryl, yeah, subscribers. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Well, but I did show, I think I talked about in an article a couple of weeks ago about how finally Ukraine is setting up like counter information sources in these areas, because in a lot of places the TV has been down, the internet, people don't have it, or they don't have computers. Yeah, Scruffy, the Kursk invasion is super important. Armies want to move forward. Moving forward means winning. Up until Kursk, Ukraine is falling back. Yeah, exactly. It's about morale, and so even with all of this, Pokrovsk thing going on, having that moving forward business. By the way, I'm not going to read it, but I want to click on that article. Stalker game developers. Because everybody's pulling, or 75%, 70% of people are doing everything they can. Herb, that's funny. I'm not going to read that. I'll show it though. There, everybody can see it now. All right. Anyway, yeah. So, but just to remember that, and I think it's really important to remember, these are not the only fights happening. I repeat this over and over. 134 combat engagements. So, like Kursk and every one of these arrows here, and there's places with no arrows where fights are happening. People are dying. Our soldiers are dying. Random artillery going off all the way along the line here. And it's not the only place, and the orcs are not giving up by any means. I haven't even spoken about this stupid alleged peace negotiations. I just didn't think they were important enough to discuss. Apparently third-party peace negotiations that were happening in Dubai, apparently, or something like that. Right. Cheryl, I remember how ecstatic Roman Trocimets was when going on the offensive. Remember, yeah, Miriam, Ukraine has created a dilemma, as Ryan Macbeth likes to say, for Putler. Yeah. And he's trying to do everything he can not to have to. Now, I know that we see that let's see here. Oh, maybe I don't have the article up, but there's evidence that I know where I was looking for it. Right here. This is it. United 24 Media. Russia plans covert mobilization amid heavy war casualties. So Russia plans to increase to 800,000. So they've got approximately 600,000 now, and they plan to expand to 800,000. Now, 600,000 have already died or been injured. So they've already done like a complete 100% rotation. And the reason that they want to expand to 800,000, so they need an additional like 200,000, is because I'm sure that they're realizing that they can't leave all of this part of the border just to conscripts anymore. They can't take that risk anymore. And it may be that Ukraine, knowing that Russia was going to do this crypto mobilization or whatever anyway, they were like, we can't let them concentrate their forces. We have to force them to spread out those additional forces. I don't know. I want to take a minute here because I've been talking for an hour. I want to take a minute to talk about this fundraiser that I'm doing right now. Guys, I really, really want to, this is the biggest fundraiser I've done. I really, really want to do this, get this off the board, and move on and start buying more drones. I've got a bunch of plans for things that we're going to do, but I really only do one raffle at a time because that's all I can do. And we're trying to get up to at least 3,000, 3,500 to buy just a craptastic truck. That the first battalion, Alpha Company of the first battalion, can use. So I didn't want to announce it before, but because there were some things I wasn't sure about in my life. But I want to announce, we had previously we had a mini raffle. So this is a raffle, by the way. You can buy a raffle ticket. It's $5, okay, or 210 grivnas if you're counting in Ukrainian. And what you will win from this raffle is one of about 10 really cool mementos from the war. And the grand prize is this flag signed by all of Alpha Company. And the thing to know about this is that most of these guys are no longer with us. And let's see. I think this guy is injured. I think this guy might not be alive anymore. Fletch, I know Fletch is alive. And I know Casey's alive. Others are in the hospital. And I mean, it's exactly for the reason that they needed a medical evacuation vehicle last June, to be honest. I can't really tell you where they were fighting, but I mean, basically the entire Alpha Company is being effectively reconstituted. And so this would have saved lives then. It will save lives now. It won't be exactly this truck. It's just an example. I don't know. When we get to that point, then I'm gonna go online and find the truck here in Ukraine. It's not going to be imported, because importing it from 69th Sniffing Brigade, that's like $15,000, $25,000 per truck. This is way cheaper of a truck than that. Okay. And we can make sure that it's going to stay with Alpha Company. That's a really important thing. So I'm going to, we did a mini raffle for a t-shirt. And Klaus Dieter won that t-shirt, and that it should be coming to him pretty soon. If you don't get it in the next couple of weeks, Klaus Dieter, so Last White Rose, are they able to get a hold of NAFO Sniffing Brigade? I don't know, but I can tell you this. The International Legion in general is at the bottom of everybody's lists for giving and donations. And they're at the bottom of the list of even the Ukrainian military in terms of, they don't have heavy vehicles. They have to rely on other brigades. They're usually attached to another brigade. They have to rely on other brigades for transport, for medical evacuation in general. And so this is why it's really important to make sure if we give them a vehicle, it's not going to get transferred to some other unit because the armed forces of Ukraine say, hey, we want to give it to 76th Brigade or whatever. Okay. And I'm not shitting on 69th Sniffing Brigade by any means, but when you transfer a vehicle over the border into Ukraine, if you don't want to pay like 15 or 25% tax or some crazy shit like that on the vehicle, you have to have paperwork showing that you are handing it over to the Ukrainian military directly. And in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hand it over to the unit, the people in the unit. And it will actually stay in my name, so it cannot be transferred. So it can't be taken away from them. Legally, they can't do it. Not without, they'll have to call me. And yeah, Jake Broe just raised another $500,000 in less than a week from 30 more. I think he's going to go to $1 million, Cheryl. So, all right. So with that in mind, I want to show you guys. So we have this raffle, okay? This raffle for this really cool stuff, for this flag, and for these postcards. Okay, there's about 10 of these postcards handwritten by the guys who are fighting. Okay, this is like a war memorial thing that you'll keep and remember for the rest of your freaking life. I hope, until you sell it on Antiques Roadshow. I don't know. But I want to. So everybody who has bought a ticket so far is entered into that raffle when we get to the $3,000 or $3,500 point. But I want to hold right now another mini raffle. Okay, and all I want to do is get us to 2,000. If we can get to 2,000, we're at 1,200 right now. If we can get to 2,000, I have some really cool stuff, and we're gonna raffle off not one thing. Remember, last time it was one T-shirt, and instead, here we go. We're gonna do this. Okay, I have a bunch of really cool stuff that I like. So many soldiers have signed and given me things, and I'm like, why am I holding on to these things? I need to be using this to give to you guys to raise money. So these are some really cool stickers, okay, that you can put on your phone or your notebook or your desk or your computer at work, just to show people that you support Ukraine, just a little sign. But that's not the cool part. The cool part is this. This is the cool part. So this is actually from the 2nd Battalion of the International Legion, who signed this, and it says, without your help, the fight is impossible. And I don't know, you may just want to keep the stickers on there and just keep it exactly as it is, because it's signed by Sphinx, by the way, from the 2nd Battalion. And we delivered a drone to him and to his group. And he also signed this cool little patch that says Slava Ukraine. And this it's kind of like it's like rubber, but it's got Velcro on the back. So, if you've got Velcro somewhere, you can wear this with pride, okay? And the next thing, these are all things that I just have laying around. Does anybody remember this? Do you guys know what this is? You guys asked about this, okay? And I've been keeping these boxes this whole time for exactly this reason. This is the box for the very first battery, for the very first drone that we sent from this channel. And the unit that we sent it to, which is actually the guys that made that flag back there, okay, they signed it. So this is signed. You can't. Yeah, it says here. You can see it there. Signed by FOMA. That's the call sign. Yeah, the batteries. It's the box for the batteries, guys. I saved all the boxes for the drones, and the guys signed them. They literally signed them. It's very interesting, Nurse Sean. Regarding cheap trucks, I was surprised that an effective body armor design is based on ultra high density polyethylene. How effective would polyethylene bottles melted and fused as armor for trucks? I have experimented with this myself, and I actually have some plates of exactly that kind of armor that you were describing, and was planning on, when we buy the truck, I was planning on giving those and putting them in the floor or the door. I mean, it's not bulletproof, but it does absorb impacts like from shrapnel and stuff. It's pretty interesting that you mentioned that. Anyway, so FOMA is he's one of the FPV drone operators for this this unit back here with that flag behind me. And God, I should have. Why didn't I? I'm so dumb sometimes. I should have had these pictures up in front of me. Come on, James. Get with it. Come on. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Really? I can't bring that up? Yeah, okay. Great. So I will open it up and Google Chrome.
I didn't know
Ah! There we go. So this guy right here, who's a drone operator, is the one who signed this box that you're seeing here. And on the side, it says, the Black Sea is waiting for us. So he's from Zaporizhia. That's what it says there. It says Zaporizhia on the box. And yeah, so that's, yeah, there we go. And hang on. So here's the deal, right? Each of these items that we're going to do for this raffle, one person will win. Okay, so in other words, one person will get this, one person will get this, one person will get this. Okay, and I'm not done. This is not signed by anybody, guys, but I just want to. These are like chocolate candies from Ukraine, and I really want to send them to somebody. I've had these for like a month, and I'm like, I picked them up and I was like, dude, I gotta buy this. I gotta buy this because I want one of you guys to have it. And it's covered in plastic, so I couldn't like get it signed by a soldier. It would just fall off. But so somebody's gonna win this, and then because this, I know that part of this raffle is for this flag here, which is the Alpha company. But for this mini raffle, the grand prize is going to be this flag right here. And if you don't know what this flag is signed by the entire training unit of the 4th Battalion. Yes, KKSGG, thank you for pointing that out. So I plan on, KKSGG says, so you plan on removing winning names from the wheel for subsequent spins. Yes, exactly. So I volunteer for chocolate tribute, Leathercat. Yeah. So these are really pretty good. It's chocolate caramels. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, and I will mail them to you. So Mr. Squiggle, so the milk bottle body armor, the videos of it, and it is effective, but body armor works better in layers, like 16 layers of silk or more, plus different materials combined. So the stuff that I made, I actually got grocery bags, which are made with the same HDPE, and so multiple layers of grocery bags interspersed with what I have right here. This is oh my God, James. I guess it's getting late. Oh my God, I'm an hour and 19 minutes. That's the problem. My brain's starting to shut down. This is fiberglass cloth. So it's HTPE impregnated fiberglass cloth is what I made the armor from. It's upstairs. It's all wrapped up in duct tape and stuff. I wouldn't be able to show. Anyway, all right. So I'm getting distracted. So the point is that this is signed by every member of the International Legion who from the month of April. So, some of them did go to 1st Battalion. Yes, they exist. Which link for raffles? It's this right here. It's this raffle to buy a medevac truck. Okay, so this is a mini raffle within this raffle. All right. So what I'm saying is this is like a sub raffle. Okay, so I want us to get. I want to try and get us to $2,000. Okay. Wait, I lost audio. Can you guys hear me? Test. Did I? Oh, okay. It was the stream refreshed. Okay. Woo! Scared me. Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna have multiple prizes, and it's just to get us to the $2,000 mark, right? It's like a little sub raffle within the raffle, and so it's this link. So if you go to the internet, my shop, you go here, support Alpha. So it's yukraine.com, support Alpha Company, multi-prize, multi-winner raffle. And so this is like, forget about this. You're still going to be in the raffle for this stuff here, but this is just like a mini raffle within the raffle. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So, I hope that's clear. Whew. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Because I have some really important things I want to tell you guys about. That's not about so much this war, I guess. Yeah, it is about the. What am I saying? I want to skip over some of these because there's some. Oh, here's the thing I was talking about the Kinburn Spit. Ukrainian Navy destroys ammunition depot on the Kinburn Spit. This is, some people are predicting that this is where Ukraine is going to go next. Because you want to open up multiple fronts, and I doubt it. I'm going to close up some of these. I think I'll leave those two open. And I think I'm going to skip over that a little bit. So I taught a introduction to drone class last week. Drones and electronic warfare. In a small town, mostly for teenagers, but there was about 40, a little less than 40 people showed up, and maybe 10, 15 adults, something like that. And so just to show you, let me see what that looked like. And I think I did post this in our Discord, but I don't know if I posted it to the internet or not. But I'll show you what that looked like here. So this was the class. This is me teaching about drones and electronic warfare, and also like computer networking and wireless signaling, and how they are related to each other. The reason that this is relevant is because they asked me back. And as part of this program, this is, the civil defense courses that Ukraine is setting up for like high schoolers that I've talked about before. And so they asked me back. So next week, I'm going to come back to this small town and do a 1 week long intensive drone course. So the kids are they're going to get to fly drones. I just bought I used their funding to do this, but I bought 5, I think, toy drones, like cheap ones. Like, let me see, I can find here. Yeah, actually, I actually physically bought this drone, and like about 5 more of them. So it's like a poor man's Mavic, essentially. It's got a very small battery. That's the battery, little tiny thing. But it's good enough for the kids to learn how to fly drones, and not just fly the drones, but also fix the drones, because they're going to break them. Like, that's the first thing they'll do is freaking break the damn things, you know. So repairing drones, and then also maybe a little bit of drone hacking, although that might be kind of an advanced course. This may turn into like more of a thing, a bigger thing, you know. And Levicat, by the way, with the chocolate, they're not super common, but I know where to get them with the chocolates. Okay. They're not really super expensive, but like, they're not always around, but I know where to find them when they are around. Anyway, so don't worry if you miss out on this chocolate time. Maybe I can hook you up. You know what I mean? So this the reason that this is important is because, God damn, all the way back to like March or April, I was talking about getting a drone lab together. Oh, hey Annie, you got a gifted membership. So yeah, gosh, I can't remember. So many people bought memberships. I forgot who bought which ones, but yeah, it was very nice. So anyway, the point is that in this class that I'm teaching next week, it may turn into like kind of a bigger thing. I mean, I want to show you that, like, I've actually got materials. This is official Ukrainian. I mean, obviously I've translated it into English, but this is official Ukrainian drone training manual here that I'm working with. And like, this is actually the training material that I was using in my class last week, but we're going to go over it like more intensively next week. And why is this important? Because somebody else hooked me up into this. So guys, I spoke like last April. I was saying March about getting like a volunteer thing together, and repairing houses and building drones, kind of a thing. Yeah, Mark, thanks for coming. Yeah, oh, Nikki, good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys showed up. So so the deal with this, that somebody hooked me into this, is socialdrone.com.ua. Okay, definitely check it out. And basically, I'm so glad that somebody has kind of put this together. This is one of the reasons why, I went to that basically a training where I got to build drones for a week. This is like a few weeks ago, so I could have that experience, so I could learn, so I could come back to my home city and set up a drone lab here. Okay. And get my fellow Ukrainians, and maybe even some of you guys. I just bought 2 chances, but the process does not confirm it is done. Simply offers continue shopping. Did it work or not? They exist. Let me see. I heard kind of a ding ding on my phone. I have my phone connected to Shopify, and it gives me a ding when anybody buys something. So I'm guessing maybe it was you. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, it's under a different name. Let's see. Did somebody buy 2? Oh yes, I see. Someone just bought 2. David bought 2 items. So bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, so what this program is how this works, I guess, and I'm just learning about it like just last week. Okay, so we will raise funds for like a couple of drones. They give you a list of parts that you need to buy on AliExpress or wherever, and then like I or my team of volunteers, I don't know, maybe some of these kids who are interested, put the drones together. And to be honest, I kind of have ethical problems with kids building these drones. But what I really want them to do is become teachers and teach. I want to get community involvement. Yes, Michelle, thank you. I saw that. Thank you so very much. Thanks, Herb. So what I want to do is get these children, young adults, even maybe call them, I don't know, teenagers, right? Teaching in their communities, teaching their adult, going home to their families and saying, hey, mom and dad, you know what? Let's make a drone, and then basically the cost to do that will be about 250 euros or dollars, roughly speaking. So normally a drone, as you guys know, a decent drone would cost $500 to $1,000. So if we can get them assembled for 250, now it's really making your donation money worthwhile. Now I'm talking, it's just talk right now. It's just talk. I'm not, this is the next thing. So after we buy this truck, okay, and after I go and teach this class and do this intensive, this drone intensive thing, this is the next idea that I'm working on, and my goal will be not just yes, Mitch, when teaching, keep your eyes open for naturals and try to hook them up with the right contacts. Yes. Yeah. And actually, what's interesting, Mitch, the only actual drone pilot in the group is a girl. So you said that especially, but not limited to 14, 15-year-old boys. It's mostly boys, as you could see from those pictures that I showed. But the only real drone expert in the group is a girl. So anyway, so this is the next thing that I'm hoping to set up. Now, I say this. This is the last thing I'm gonna leave you with. I was told. You guys know that I've applied much more now than 10 times to join the Ukrainian military, and I won't go into the long story again of why it hasn't happened, but it's been very frustrating. It's been incredibly difficult. I was given a language test, a Ukrainian language test, on last Wednesday. And I was told by the recruiter that I needed to have this, and I'll show you. I think I can show it, right? Oh, here it is, right here. I was told that I needed to have this list of words right here, memorized. Wow, last White Rose. James is the first YouTuber covering Ukraine that I follow. To remember my YouTube name. 4 tickets. Thank you. Wow. Hey, if anyone knows what happens if stitches aren't taken out for like 4 years, they actually, Herb, they should get absorbed. They're supposed to get absorbed by the body in most cases. That's my understanding, but God knows I'm not a medical doctor. Anyway, I was given this list of words that I needed to memorize in order to join the Ukrainian army right here. I don't know if you guys can see them here. So turn left, turn right, just basic commands. Okay. Levo ruch, pravo ruch, sti, sluhayus. So I spent all of last week while I was sick. I was sick, by the way, too. I was sick when I was teaching this class, by the way. That's the crazy part. I was freaking sick the whole time. I just drank like so much freaking coffee. Holy crap. So much coffee. And like energy drinks and Jesus Christ. Anyway, so what I did was I recorded myself saying all of these. I grouped them into like two groupings, into one that was like marching around, like forward, vipered, fall back, nazad, some other ones, fall in, rivnais. And then I recorded it on my phone and then played it in my ear day and night over and over and over for literally like 5 days. And yeah, so Monday I spoke to the recruiter again, and they were like, all right, so we're going to start the process, and it's going to probably take about a month. And the only reason it's taking a month is because is because the person who would normally process paperwork for foreigners is on vacation until September 5th, apparently. James, I blame you for me feeling sick. That's wise. It's good to blame someone, Catherine. Oh, shit, Catherine. You don't think, oh my God, maybe I made you sick. Fuck. See, I thought I was over it, though, last Monday. I thought I was, like, good to go. That's the thing. But then, because I thought I was done. You know, I thought I was totally done. But then, like yesterday, again, I didn't feel sick. I just felt like really freaking tired. Catherine, do you have a sore throat? But so let me just tell you how, if you are sick, Catherine, I'm really sorry. It's been just going, like half the people I know here in Ukraine have had it. On the plus side, you're not going to be so sick that you're going to be bedridden. You're just going to have like a slight sore throat, and you're just going to feel tired. And it's going to like make your brain foggy, but you're not going to be like hospitalized or anything. Nobody I know who's had this has been. So, Duolingo definitely won't help there unless you need a sandwich for lunch in the kitchen. I'm pretty, yeah. Actually, I know a lot of words in Ukrainian, but my grammar is terrible. And all of my words are like related to like the kitchen and food and body parts, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, so the point I'm making here is that I've got a lot of irons in the fire. Oh, you've got a cough and sniffles? No, I didn't have that. That might be something completely different, Catherine. I don't know. So I've got a lot of irons in the fire, guys, is what I'm trying to say here. So one of these things is going to work out. Regardless of what happens with the Ukrainian military, I will continue my relationship with this training program, this civil defense classes for teenagers, and basically, you know, when I leave the military, I'll come back and do this, and just this will be what I do for the rest of my life, you know. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about it, and I hope that maybe some of you guys can get involved and come out here to Ukraine and help us with this, you know. But it's in the future. We're not there yet. Step by step. Right now, we're just doing this. And remember, we've got really cool stuff. This and oh my God. There. I want to share that. What am I doing? I hate when I flip my screens back and forth and then Catherine, yeah, who else did you hang out with? Rick the Ukrainian. By the way, I didn't mention it before. Catherine, I guess it's okay that we talk about the fact that you came out to Ukraine. and I got to have lunch with one of my viewers and members. Kay Bell here came out to Ukraine. I swear that cough has nothing to do with my illness, guys. Man, so I was talking this whole time about this drone program, and I forgot which screen I was using. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys see it now. This is the program. Anyway, so yeah, it was really awesome meeting with Catherine, and I actually got to introduce her to one of the people who I'm potentially joining the military with. And if I do join the military, it looks like it's probably going to be with a drone team, which, makes sense. Oh yeah, good news that Ukraine is offering citizenship for service. I think I'm so glad finally that they're doing that, because it's not necessarily for me, but for a lot of guys, they may not be able to go back home, depending on which country they're from. Dimitri, once you have a brain, you're up for all sorts of problems. Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely true. Anyway, guys, so with that, oh yeah, Rick was feeling kind of funky yesterday. There you go. I heard he smells funky too. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. So yeah, I think that's the end of my live stream today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Those of you who stuck it out. One last thing: if you are a member, you can connect your. You can get on Discord if you have Discord. You can get on Discord and join my Discord, and you will automatically have a membership. But if you're still here and you're hanging out and you still want to join, then this invitation right here, which I will put in our chat, you can use this invite to join the Discord as a hobbit. Hobbits are awesome. It's only good for like another hour, maybe. So it's a very short time. I have to, and it's only like, I think it's limited to like 10 people. So if you want to join and you click on the link and it doesn't work, just send me a note or let me know and I'll try to get you in. Holy crap. There's one last thing. Damn it. I hate when there's something I really needed to talk about and I forget. Let's see. Discord, joining it. Well, I guess I'm going to have another live stream on Saturday. So I hope that all of you can make it. And who knows? Maybe we'll get to 2,000 on our raffle, and we'll get to have our second mini raffle. Who knows, guys? Thank you all for coming, and do pobачення, as we say here, and Slava Ukraine.